Hello everyone, and welcome to another Creative Design Team YouTube collaboration where this month we are focusing on how to scrapbook outdoor photos. And we've decided that it would be fun to select photos from our recent trip to Vancouver, and specifically we're all going to scrapbook this photo here, which was such a fun spot to have a photo shoot. This was on the way to a walk to Bridal Veil Falls, and we were driving to Whistler for the day, and it was the perfect spot to have a group photo taken and then some other shots as well. I don't have all the photos of the girls on the tracks in their individual poses. I'm going to ask them for them, and I'm going to extend this layout when I get them. But then there's also some fun behind the scenes photos. Now I was going to put the photos of the Bridal Veil Falls and also some other photos as we were walking to the gorgeous viewpoint of the waterfalls, but I just wanted to have these fun photos on a layout on their own. And you can see I've got my photos laid out how I want them to appear. I've already printed them. These are 2x2s. These are a little bit smaller than 3x4s. I've got a 5x7 and two 6x4 photos here. And how I did that was by using one of our sketchbooks. Now, I think most of us are using sketches from our recently released volume 2, but I've gone a bit off brand because I thought of this sketch straight away when I had the photos and like a photo strip type element here. So I've gone back to our volume 1 edition, and I'm going to do this one here. So I've decided that this Country Woods paper is going to be in the background, and I did start off with this grid style layout, but what I did was, instead of having the grid as 3x3s, because of my photos, it didn't really crop into a square at all, and I wanted the long view of the railway tracks. So I'm making my own little grid here, but I am going to use some of these tab elements. And also this is a guide for some fun embellishments that I'm going to have. Stick around. I have a sneak peek of some very exciting product that's coming out next month. So in July, there will be an online release with Stampin Up, and I can't wait until then. I'm going to use some of that product on this layout. And I will be gutting this out so I can save some of the wood pieces because I do want to bring it in for some of these other elements. And I was thinking of having this onto a white background here, but then my white mats on my photos are going to get lost. So I was trying to work out what color would go with this wood. I was thinking the light side of shortbread might go as a large mat for all of this. I'll just move this off to the side just a little bit. I'm going to put these smaller photos aside and just use this one to look at my color options here. And then I thought about having white in the background here, but the shortbread color is not quite right. I don't have a lot of the Stampin' Up cardstock as yet, and I am trying to use up everything that I have from Close to My Heart with cardstock. But I do love how this looks with espresso and the white matte. And you can see that just makes the photos pop that little bit more, and it gives a nod to the white by having a small margin here. And in the sketch, there were some offset mats. So I'm going to bring in some more of the wood paper. I absolutely love this Country Wood paper. And this is one of them. It's got this gorgeous pattern on the back of it, but I want to bring this in because we're mainly in jeans. We're either in dark denim or light denim, and because of my jumper here, and I thought that would work really well. But when I put it up against the espresso, I don't like that. So what I'm going to try and do is rearrange this so that I've got white, and then see how this looks. And I do like that a bit better. So what I think I will do, because I love the espresso and I love how the photos look on the espresso, is do some small mats, because this section here is only part of a panel. So it's not going to take over the whole entire layout, and it will be fine with the espresso behind it. And then there's another piece that they've brought in here, and I'm looking at lightening this up just a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe this one, and that will give a little bit of separation between the denim color wood and the espresso photo mat. The other one that I looked at was this one, but I think that's just a little bit too green. It's so hard to choose with this Country Wood paper. I do love it all. And then this one has some of the goldish sort of tones through, which is picking up some of the foliage in the background. So that could be my other wood section that I use. And this gives a little bit of a nod to the denim. Even though this is a charcoal or a black type color, it still picks up on the dark tones of the denim type color of this wood. So it's a bit hard to make the decision, and I want to make the right one because I have to cut this up. I'm not using it as one entire sheet. I think this one is going to be the best one to use with the railway tracks. I'm going to put these aside. So I also need to cut a strip for these 2x2 photos here. And I think I'll probably use the Espresso because there's only a little bit of it showing here, and I think these are going to look really nice on that strip. So I'm going to go away and start cutting all these pieces of paper down, and then I'll be back with some more assembly and decorating it, and of course a sneak peek that I'm going to show you that I'm very excited about. I've got things laid out roughly where I want them. For the right page, I just started with a sheet of Espresso and adhered my photo direct to it, and then laid the other ones out and then trimmed it down so that it would all fit. Got this one a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to fix that now. And for the left page, the sketch shows it as a landscape photo, but I've got a portrait photo. So I'm just changing the mats around a bit, and I've cut two the same size because I want the wood grain flowing along the same way, and I want a little bit of this denim style coming out of this side as well. So I'm just going to trim this about here, and then I can split this either side of that. So I think this might work a bit better. This is going to go on an angle. I just needed a little bit more of the pattern to come down because of the orientation of my photo. And then this one is going to come out this side of here, and that will look like an extended piece. And for the banner, instead of dovetailing both ends, I'm just going to dovetail one end, and this is going to go a little bit up and over my photo here because I upsized the photo as well. I went from a 6x4 to a 5x7, and then I've followed pretty much the cuts of the sketch apart from this pattern paper here. So I'm going to use a piece of it to come down here, and then I'm going to start looking at what I've got for this side as well. So I'm going to adhere these down, and then I'm going to start bringing in some tabs and things like that. So here's where I'm going to start bringing in some product that is not available to order until July, and I will post links and everything to that once it becomes available. This is one of the bundles that was available, and I knew I just had to get this because I do my Christmas tag Tuesdays in November, and I really love all the tag elements, and the stamp set is Christmas themed, but I'm going to bring those in to act as the little tabs and everything around these photos and along these edges as well. And then I was thinking about embellishments for these. So I'm bringing in something new as well that I absolutely love. And it's a new paper suite that is coming out in July in online only order. And it's this golden greenery paper. I hope you can see all the shimmer and shine that is treated to one side of this paper. So the other side is a regular cardstock, and then you have all this wonderful shimmer and shine that happens with all the gold accents. So I'm going to pull out this paper here because all of this greenery I think is going to match beautifully with my photos. And then there's even more with this collection. There is a new vellum range with it. So you get two of each pattern. I'll put these ones aside. They're the double patterns. And you can see this is a gorgeous vellum, and I love the greenery sprigs here. There is a beautiful wash, and also this vellum as well. So I'm a bit torn as to which one I'm going to use because I think both of these are going to work really well. So I'm not sure if I should use the vellum leaves on here to give it a soft sort of look, but I'm thinking they might get a little bit lost going across the pattern pieces. But then we've also got these spruce tree sprigs, and I love how they look as well. But once again, I'm not sure how that's going to work. You can see it's competing a little bit if I put it over the top of this wood pattern paper. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this one here. And this is the really exciting thing about this collection. There is a stamp set that goes with this, but there are also dies. And this is something that Stampin' Up do really, really well. So this is the golden greenery dies. It coordinates with the stamp set, but it also coordinates with the papers. So as you can see, this die will cut out this spruce sprig, and then this die will fit this one here. So you can see how that works. And I'm just wondering, does it fit this one as well? Yes, it does. It doesn't cut out every single leaf pattern in this collection because they are all a little bit different. But I think that's what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to cut around some of these sections so that I can die cut out these sprigs. And I can't wait to create some Christmas layouts with these. But I think it's going to work really well with my outdoor adventures in Vancouver City, British Columbia, and also some in Alaska. I can really see me using this one with the snow-tipped spruce leaves here. I think it's going to work really well. And that's why I couldn't wait to show you what it is, even though we're sort of nearly halfway through June. I think it's just something to keep on the lookout for Christmas projects, but also outdoor projects as well. So you can see I've adhered everything down so far for the right page. And I used this die here because I quite like the fact that it sort of represented sleepers with its angled design rather than using a different shape again. And I've cut it from the 3 types of wood paper that I've used, the country wood paper, and I need to get myself some small little embellishments that I can use to put on here as the stud part of this rather than tying a whole lot of twine. Because I've got 3 grouped here, 3 here, and I've got 3 over here as well. I think if I put twine in there, it'll be a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to have a look and see what I've got in my stash, but I think I'll have to order some new ones from Stampin' Up. So I just need to tuck these in. I thought it was fun to reintroduce some more of the wood paper over here, just to bring all of these pieces together. This one's sort of stuck already because there's some adhesive behind it, but I think you'll agree just by adding these tab sections, it just adds something else to it. So I'm just going to put this one at the back and have that coming out a fair way. This one's my next one I'm going to put on. So that's going to be slid underneath somewhat. And yes, they do overlap a little bit. But I think I'm going to manipulate this so that these two don't overlap. That one's going to be on top. This is going to come down a little ways. I'm going to pull this one out just a little bit more, I think. And then I'm going to separate this one from the paper here with this blue one. So that is going to go underneath. So I'm not seeing too much of it, but it separates all the pieces from the patterns. So no patterns are actually sitting on top of each other. Just fiddling with this one a little bit. And I don't know if you can pick it up on camera here. Oh, I just moved. I forgot I had those all set up, ready to go to show you a little bit of a trick I'm going to do with the title here. I'll just put those on and lift this up carefully. But there are little perforations all the way around these tags, and I love that little detail to these. Anytime there's stitching or perforations or dots like this on a die cut piece, I'm all in. I can't resist them. So I'm going to cut my title out using the Alphabet a la Mode dies from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to do a 2-tone effect. And I'm going to try a trick that I did quite some time ago. I've adhered 2 pieces of cardstock together so that when I cut these out, I'll have them over the top of this somewhat. So I've given myself a little bit more wiggle room here so that when I cut the letters out, the top word will be all at the top part of this. I'll adhere these with washi tape so that they don't move. And then when it comes to doing the bottom word, I will rotate it around so that the bottom section of the word will be cut out of the espresso. And then we come back to this pattern paper here. Now I have loosely cut around this, and I'm even going to cut out these ones that are on the edges. So I'm just going to die cut all of these, ready to tuck in and around all of my elements. So I've run that through my die cutting machine, and you can see how cool that looks with the 2 different tones here, the espresso and then the white. And it's going to stand out enough even where these bottom ones are somewhat over the top of the bottom piece of espresso here from this large photo mat. If you haven't got your adhesive quite underneath the letters, you can always use some liquid glue or some dot roller to fix that up. And now all I need to do is adhere those down. So I've cut some of these out from that strip I did. Before I cut any more, I'm going to make sure that I actually like what I've done here. You can see I've got the straight edges of the paper that is on here. So this can be hidden just by tucking it in underneath sections. So nobody needs to know that that's a flat edge. And this one here was at the top edge of the paper. So I'm just looking at where I think I might like to put that one. I think that can go up here, coming off there. I'm loving the touch of green. There's no green on any of my paper pieces here, but it's within the photos, and I really wanted to bring that out. So then I can put this one coming out from here. And this one, I didn't quite get the cut right on it, but I'm thinking that will be able to go tucked mainly underneath this section here, and then I can bring some of these other little sections out. So these were the actual edges of the paper as such. So the next lot of cuts that I do, I'll have more full ones here, but I'll also have other edges that I can then bring in to these areas. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this on here or if I'll just concentrate on where the tags are. The only thing is, with my journaling, I was going to do it on this little bit of a tag here, but I quite like how this greenery is looking coming out from all of those areas. So I might just leave that as it is. And then I might do some little strip journaling here. So this one, I think I can tuck down around here. So I'm thinking that might come out here. And then just one more of this little heart one, or heart-shaped leaf. So I'm just going to cut in amongst here and cut around so that I can die cut this one out. And then that will come out of this section. I really do love how Stampin' Up coordinate their papers with some of the dies. And it just adds so much more value to purchasing their die and the combination set with the stamps. I've got everything adhered now. As I said before, I'll either put journaling here or I'll put the remainder of the photos when I get them. And then what I'm going to do is hide my journaling under here, or I can just do a little strip bit here because there's not too much to say about this apart from the amount of laughs that we had doing this photo shoot. It was so fun to travel with these girls and take photos with them. There was no, oh, come on, hurry up or anything like that that you normally get with family. We were all on the same page. So this was a lot of fun. I did find some gems to put on my tags. I've used these iridescent foil gems. Now they do have a touch of pink to them, but I don't mind that. But the gold in them picks up the gold from the leaves. And I've put the smaller ones on each of the little tag elements here. And then I'm just going to tuck a few of these bigger ones. Now I'm learning how to use this tool. And you can see I'm struggling here with it. Okay, off camera, I got this to work really well. There we go. So basically it has a putty end and you can just slide it off and pick it up. For some reason, when I'm using the piercing tool on the Stampin' Up ones, it might be to do with the type of adhesive they use. It's harder to pick them up with my piercing tool. So what I'm doing with the larger ones is just tucking them in and around the leaves and the other elements. So you basically just need to slide and it will pick up. So that is a really handy thing to have. They aren't too large, these bigger ones, but I just like the way that they can nestle underneath and around elements. I've got one here. I need to put another one down here. So it's just a slide and pick. Quite easy to do once you get the hang of it. So I'm just going to nestle another one in that section there, and that's all I need to do for those. These are quite cool with a little bit of gold fleck, and I'm loving how Stampin' Up do their embellishments. There's so many cool ones. I never thought I needed more dots, but I really think I do. Just one thing on this putty tool, when you put the lid on and off, make sure that you just pull it straight up. If you twist it at all, it will bring more of that putty up to the top there and you'll end up wasting some. So as I said, this is brand new. It only arrived yesterday, as did all this gorgeous paper. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that I wanted to put it onto these layouts. So apart from the journaling and a couple of additional photos, that is my 2-page layout. I've used the sketch from volume 1. I have changed it a little bit, as I said, and I can't wait to see what the other girls create with these outdoor photos. We basically are all using one of the same photo and then choosing how we do the rest of them. And it's so fun to hear the stories. I've watched Erin's video already. Hers aired yesterday. So if you haven't seen that already, make sure you check it out. There will be a list to everything that I have used in the description below, as well as links to what's currently available. Keep your eye out on these little things that I gave you a sneak peek of. And there'll also be a link to our CDT website where you'll find all of our sketchbooks. We have 5 sketchbooks in there now. So there are 2 12x12s, 2 6x8 and an 8.5x11 sketchbook. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, happy crafting, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.